Okay, hi. It is Defiant's release day. Brandon Sanderson is putting out his final book in the Skyward series, and I'm very excited. So I'm going to be doing a little reading vlog for this book. It is November 21st. It's a Tuesday, publishing day. I did order through my independent bookstore, a pre-order, and I don't know if it will arrive today. With pre-orders, the way that my bookstore does it is they'll say it could be we could have it for you ready on the day. It might be 2 days after also. So we'll see. Anyways, I just wanted to open up the vlog because I will be reading this book very, very soon. And I'm going to take you along on this journey as I have done with a few other releases that I've really enjoyed and been anticipating this year. This is going to be a whole vlog dedicated to this book. Non-spoiler, this is the last book in a YA sci-fi series. So I'm going to be talking about this non-spoiler. Hi. I have an update for you. My energy isn't as da-da-da-da right now because it's late at night. Enough of that. I'm reading Defiant by Brandon Sanderson. Here's the deal, you guys. Not a great way to start off how I'm doing. I have made it through the first little bit. First 90 pages are done. I've made it chapter 10. Go me. First impressions are not strong, but my first impressions of the first book in this series, Skyward, were bad. It honestly took me about halfway through that first book and I was obsessed. It absolutely just clicked in my mind. Second book, 5 stars. All of the novellas, 5 stars, all 3 of them. And then Cytonic tanked. 3 stars. Now, that's not a tank, but when you talk about a 5-star series up until that point, that's not great. I'm sad, y'all. I'm not loving it. I don't know. I feel like I'm maybe not connected right now to it. I've got a great report, guys. It's over a week later, maybe 2 weeks later. I'm getting back into this, you guys, and it's going very well for me. If I'm being honest, it was very slow going, and you can definitely tell that from my previous update when I first started this book. But once I got past the 150 or so page mark, it has just been a joy. It's been like an old glove just back on my hand. It fits perfectly. I'm remembering these characters and why I love the story. His writing, the plot is just moves at a breakneck pace. I'm pleased to report I am on page 246. Okay, let me tell you why I love this series so much. Spenza is a very complicated character. She is a wonderful heroine to follow. I love the mysteries that are uncovered throughout each of these books. I love the setting changes that happen. I love that the conflict is truly high stakes. We are in the middle of an intergalactic war and people are dying. I think that sometimes I do not enjoy YA writing and heroines, especially young female heroes, when the action is watered down. The 2 series that I think of when I think of series that have action-packed, truly high stakes plot points, progression, and consequences of people's behavior and actions, I think of Skyward series and I think of The Gilded Ones by Namina Forner. Both of these really pull no punches. I actually think maybe The Gilded Ones is more gruesome than this book. I think I really appreciate that because it makes me believe the stakes are truly this high. I really love Doomslug as well, which is Spenza's little side character, and it's not as cliche and niche as it sounds, but it's basically this little slug that she found. So she's from a planet called Detrius, and she's an outcast. At the beginning of this series, she is applying to be in a flight school. It's called the DDF. The reason why she wants to be a pilot so bad is because her dad was a pilot, and he's a very famous deserter. Years ago, he went crazy and started firing on his own team. She's got a huge chip on her shoulder, and she's an outcast in the flight school when spoiler, she gets in, and then it kicks off the entirety of this plot, but also just in general society. And she lives in the slums, and she hangs out not with people her age, but she goes into the caves that are on her planet and she explores. And she's got a wild imagination. Her grandmother has filled her head with stories and tales of She's filled her head with stories and tales of very famous conquerors like Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan and all of these like crazy war stories. And she is a warrior and a soldier at heart. Because she was raised as an outcast, she is impulsive. She doesn't think through some of the consequences of her actions. She's also incredibly ruthless. All those things combined make her a great character to read through because she's not perfect. She's complicated, and you see the motivations for her making decisions and it makes sense, but you're also screaming at her, being like, think, think, think. I think I'm incredibly engaged. I'm very captured by the story now. I do have high hopes for this book. It was definitely reading like a 3-star read for the first 150 or so pages, but now we are flying. I would love to update you 100 pages from now. So on page 350, there's a total of 420 pages in this book. I'd love to have one more update before concluding the book. Hi, it's Friday. I am in the middle of my work day. I'm actually on my lunch break. And I just have been desperate for a time to tell you about my reading of Defiant. So it's happening in my car before I head on an errand. Spenza was captured and she's been held basically in this like mini prison by the bad guys, and it's allowed for a few other characters who we got perspectives from in the novellas to take center stage. That'd be Jorgen White, Kimmelin, and FM. So all three of those were, well, Kimmelin not so much, but the three of them were main characters in the novellas. And I just loved them and was endeared towards those characters, and so letting them have their own chapters in the ending of this book. I'm not at the end yet, but I'm less than 100 pages away from finishing this book. Hearing from them has made me very happy, and Spenza's kind of like, she's on the sidelines right now, and you kind of you're still hearing from her and you understand what's happening, but I just think that was a really, really smart move. She got captured maybe like right after I gave you my last reading update. So the past like 60, 80 pages, she's been out of the battle. Now she's still like discovering things about the enemy. She's spying. She's like trying to escape. So there's still like stuff happening with her, but I've loved Jorgen's chapters and Kimmelin's chapters. We are heading into the final battle, you guys. I am almost done with this book. I'm almost done with the series, and I'm nervous and thrilled, and I'm just really enjoying it. I don't know why I let myself get so down about the book at the beginning, because it truly is special. It just took a second to get going, and now I'm like so completely invested, and I'm scared. But I think that he's doing some sort of spin-off series. I'll talk to you more about that at the end, because I've wanted to research it, but I've been afraid that researching the spin-off series would spoil me for the ending of Defiant. I'm going to run some errands right now, and I'll talk to you later. I really thought that the anticipated release vlog I did for Rouge would be my most chaotic vlog. I was wrong. This vlog has been going on for a long time. If you remember, maybe you do, the first clip was filmed in November. I'm not even gonna tell you what day of January it is, but I am gonna unbox something for you because that's content. Before I open this, let me actually go get what I bought today. My husband's outside. But first, let me show you what I got from Thrift Books, which is a site I was introduced to a number of years ago that do secondhand books. Okay, one at a time. I bought Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And when the Buzzwordathon that's hosted by Books and Lala said that the prompt for January is there, and there, I was like, great excuse to read this book. I really love this edition too. I think the artwork is beautiful and the colors are really beautiful. I know that this was published in the 30s and it's technically like a classic. I don't know anything about the plot, but I am going to be reading this in the month of January. So that's the first book that I bought. It was like less than $5. I think all of these were less than $5. I finally own a copy of Get a Life, Chloe Brown. So I read this book for the first time in 2020, 4 years ago now, and loved The Brown Sisters, which is a contemporary romance by Talia Hibbert, an author I really have grown to love, and I wanted to own my own copies. I've given all 3 installments 5 stars. And it's abysmal that I don't own my own copies, but I was thinking it would be really fun to maybe do a reread because these were such successes for me. My favorite romance of all time is Take a Hint, Danny Brown, which is the second book in this like companion series thing. Zafir is my ultimate book boyfriend. If you've heard me talk about Zafir, he's from Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. So I'm just thrilled to own this book. It's an ex-library book. I don't care though. It was less than $5. And lastly, this book is so much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Look, this thing. I'm branching out, trying to read more Irish authors this year. And then I saw someone, and I cannot remember who, say that this anthology is scary. And I was like, I like scary things. Oh, I remember. Someone said that this had a really scary short story about a scary clown. And that's why I got it, because I love Pennywise. I'm not really sure where this journey is gonna take me, but I'm really excited for this. I'm trying to read more anthologies. I read 3 last year. 2 out of 3 were a massive success for me. I read a dystopian sci-fi, like weird magical realism one. I read a horror contemporary one, which was not a hit for me. And then the last one I read, was another sci-fi kind of magical realism one. So I want to try another horror one. Anyways, these are the 3 books. I feel like I'm rambling. If you haven't checked out thrift books, I would highly recommend. Now I'll talk to you about what I got at Second and Charles. Hold on. I recently read Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco, and it's my first 5-star of 2024, and I really love it. So I wanted to read, I've read the Kingdom of the Wicked series. I wanted to at least grab the first book, and this was also less than $5. So Stalking Jack the Ripper is a fantasy historical fiction. This is Carrie Maniscalco's first series, so I'm diving into her backlist a little bit and we'll see how it goes. A friend of mine, Carrie, has read these and really enjoyed them, and she might join me and do a little reread of her own. I wouldn't even call this a mini haul. This is like an actual haul for me. It is very rare that I am acquiring this amount of books in one go. Last thing I'll show you, just very briefly, are 2 cool bookmarks that I got. These are not flimsy. These are actual like plastic card. I think they're cardboard actually. I love this one so much. It's got a little jewel and a little tassel. And this one I can have with my fantasy reads, and then this one maybe with like a cute like contemporary read, or maybe even Get a Hint, Chloe Brown. That is all. I promise I will tell you what I thought about Defiant, and then this video will end. All right, I'm here to wrap up this vlog and tell you my final thoughts on Defiant by Brandon Sanderson. I've definitely walked you through my thoughts and feelings so you know how it started off versus how I was feeling towards the end of it. Ultimately, I'm gonna give this book a 4-star. I really love this series and I love this book. I did look into the Skyward Legacy, and apparently the first draft has already been written and it's in editing, so we are definitely 100% getting some sort of spin-off series in this world. I don't know anything about it. There's very little online about what characters it follows or what the plot's gonna be, but I am really happy that we aren't leaving this world just yet. Like I said, I really appreciated when some of the characters who had novellas got to have a little bit of a more center stage role in the plot, and we got to hear from them a lot more. So I really enjoyed the wrap up of this book and of this series, but like you saw, it was a slow start. So I would not feel like this is a 5-star read, but I really enjoyed this book and would highly recommend this series if you are looking to dabble in sci-fi, but you are like a little intimidated by the genre because of maybe how complicated you perceive it to be or tech heavy you perceive it to be. This is definitely a good I would say like jumping off point to like just try it out and see if it's for you. It is a YA series. I think I said that already. I really enjoyed this book and I enjoyed vlogging this crazy, very all over the place vlog for you guys. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm happy to share these anticipated release experiences with you guys, and I've done a few of these before on my channel, and it would be something I would love to look to do in 2024 and do a few more of these because I find them really fun, if not a bit chaotic. Thank you guys again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you are not subscribed already, please feel free to. I do bookish content like this on my channel all the time, so I would love to have you, and other than that, have a great rest of your day. I will see you in the next video. Bye.